So there is our referee tonight, Akihiso Aso from Japan. Dave Woodhouse and Paul Gurr are the assistant referees, and Chris Ratt is our television match official. So a beautiful night in Nelson, as it normally is, and a big match for these two sides. Both have made very good starts in the ITM Cup.
Well, I'll tell you what, the good news for Tasman supporters, Nisbo, is Tasman don't mind knocking off the first here in Nelson. I was here when they beat Canterbury for the first time.
Okay, so underway we go. So Hayden Parker made the kickoff, coming for Mark Swanepoel. And the kick downfield by Hayden Cripps, and there's an early mistake, and that's bounced a long way. Matt Faddis, and has been scooped up by Joe Wheeler in his 50th game. Now Swanepoel, as it's moved across into midfield. Otago up pretty flat though, and there it is again for Swanepoel, and roaring across after this is Faddis, who made the initial error, and he manages to put a foot in touch. So a very untidy start by Otago.
Well, untidy, extremely untidy for Otago, which has given Tasman the ideal opportunity.
Sorry, board down, please.
5-metre line out inside enemy territory within the first minute. Ideal, Smithy.
It's a great take from Alex Ainley. Very experienced lock for Tasman to kick off the game. And the first thing I notice about this line out, there's some tall timber there.
So McDonald throws, and he finds Wheeler, and this looks pretty well organised. Although the second shunt comes from Otago, and they've done very well there to blunt that. So they've had to go to ground, and there it is, Swanepoel trying to step his way through. But there are no gaps for him there. Right on the 5-metre line. And Otago prop forward Craig Miller having to get out of the road. Taken up by Shane Christie. Good front-on defence so far. Now it goes to Cripps, sends it across to midfield for Fonatia. Now they've got him up off the ground here. We've seen a lot of this in the ITM Cup. And it's going to be driven over the line, and it will be collapsed there. And Tasman did well, because if that had stopped before the line, they would have lost the scrum.
Yeah, showed good urgency there, Nisbo. The Tasman players realised the danger of the situation. Peter Breen was the Otago defender that got his hands all over the ball. Just some pick-and-go plays, and then they decided to go into the midfield, and look at Breen doing well here, and then look at the players just standing off that break, the ball situation, realise the importance of getting it over the line, and they come in numbers.
Well, they got a 4-2 split, scrum right under the bin, 4-2 split to the left, so they've got a big right to go pod with a number 8 of clean ball.
That's the key, Smithy.
Coach!
Weight advantage to Tasman. So the ideal situation here with such a big, I was going to say right-hand blind, but they're midfield, so they've turned it into their short side. Have Tasman by planting the 4 players out to the left, so the ideal opportunity is right hand up for the Tasman scrum. And Matangi, who is useful from the boot. It is a very, very difficult situation to defend if Tasman can get their execute their set piece right.
Right, Swanepoel gets it in. Kalob Matangi is going to hang on to it for the moment. Otago holding, and they're in danger of losing this, and they've blown it completely as Tanaka bangs it away downfield. Well, you would have thought an early release would have been the way to go.
Yeah, obviously want to make a statement. Clearly, Nisbo, they had no intention whatsoever of ever moving that. It was the 8-man call, and he just got untidy. Kolomatangi at the back, but yeah, clearly wanting to have a crack at this reasonably new Otago front row. Not that Tama Tururangi's new.
No, he's not new. 34 years of age.
Week.
Yeah, that's right. Tipped by Alex Ainley, and here's Tasman trying to bust through in midfield with Fonatia. Now it's with Bryce Heem, who looks as though he's got a bit of a roving commission. And penalty goes against Otago, not clearing it.
Yeah, Willis Scott The player singled out by referee Arsaw.
Now this guy Marty Banks, who is going to have a shot at goal here, the ex-Buller man from last year, on debut last week, 20 points.
It's not bad.
No, it's not.
It's not bad. He kicked a few for Buller last season too. First Buller player to score 100 points in a season. 131 points in 10 matches, and he's brought that form to the Tasman environment.
Just to reiterate, kicking conditions tonight, absolutely perfect. No excuse for either of the two place kickers or line kickers for that matter. It's just absolutely fantastic. So this well and truly on, this one, to get Tasman underway. With all their position and territory, they need something for it.
Really is a lovely little ground here at Trafalgar Park. So here's Marty Banks looking to raise the first points in this game. And he's given it a good thump, but he's just pulled it away to the left. I suppose you played a bit of cricket here, Smithy, Trafalgar Park.
Over the years, this, I was just looking around actually, hadn't changed a heck of a lot. New stand, the old one in the background is covered up by some temporary sort of seating, but the old familiar one where the people used to bask in the sun, and the cycle track's still here. We discussed that, it's still here.
Still there. And when Nelson had the Hawke Cup, you couldn't get anyone out.
No, it's true.
Okay, here's the dropout from the 22, taken by Potatia. And charging it up goes below Matangi, the number 8 forward. Comes to Swanee Pool, moves it across to Tom Marshall, who will play a big part in this game. Of course, a lot of Super Rugby experience, Tom Marshall. And only wasn't expecting that, but he got it back in the finish. And it's just on the Otago side of halfway. And Swanee Pool goes again. Here's Tom Marshall looking to release it, and player off his feet.
Surprise. Off speed.
Quick to blow the whistle. Akihisa Aso, the Heartland game. I think that's Heartland game last week. To warm into his task, and yeah, the little wraparound play. Good read too, it was. Saw the Otago defence up out of the line up quickly, and then Marshall into the contact, and keep an eye on Swanee Pool. Deemed to have been off his feet.
You do quite a bit of the Japanese rugby coverage on Sky. Pod, I guess you would have come across this referee.
Yeah, clearly one of their leading referees comes out here just to get a feel for the game in a different environment, under different circumstances. So featured last year a few games in the ITM Cup.
Bit of an untidy line-out from Otago, but it was knocked through the line-out by Tasman.
I expect they'll compete all night, Tasman, wherever, because just looking at them at ground level, they just look a little taller across the board. And Joe Wheeler there in the blue headgear to the right in his 50th game tonight, wanting to make a big statement. They look as if they're prepared to compete.
Yes, he didn't get much of a go, Joe Wheeler, and the Highlanders really did. He's a very good player.
Yeah, 10 games for the Highlanders last year, but deserved more. Most of them, a lot of them off the bench. And certainly, he was injured when he was at the Crusaders, so didn't get an opportunity there. But he is, as you say, a fabulous player, versatile, quite comfortable in the 6 jersey.
Coach! Close it up! Bind! Wake up!
Otago's best chance, really, here. We've really been down threatening near the 22 as yet.
Get to here.
So we've got Tim Perry here on this loosehead side for Tasman against Tuirarangi. He's been around for a long, long time.
Yes, nine.
So Tanaka puts it in. Good shove. Tasman. Grant releases, and Tanaka gets it away to Parker. And the ball has been knocked away in the tackle. Good solid defence by Tasman.
Good thinking. Good thinking. Good thinking.
Well, the option was to bring it back in, look to recycle it quickly, but Jaden Spence just losing his concentration to the contact there. Marshall was the tackler for Tasman.
Go straight, please.
So their first foray into enemy territory. Not for very long.
Coach!
So 9.5 minutes gone. The only real scoring opportunity for Tasman with a missed penalty early on. It's a very unstable scrum.
Scrum again.
So we've been playing with these scrums now, Pod, for about 3 weeks or so. What's your feeling so far?
I think in principle the idea is right. I think the thing that the players are struggling to make the adjustment is that they're not in charge. The referee's in charge of the whole process. So maybe there is some, which is I loathe to say it, maybe there is still some tweaking there in that respect. But certainly I think the idea that the bind is certainly taken out. We've not seen as many collapse scrums, so in principle it's right. I think just the methodology and the functionality of it might need some tweaking.
Okay, this one looks all right. So Swanepoel gets it in. Talamartangi releases, and Cripps gets it away. And struggling an extra couple of metres was Kieran Fonatia. Now Swanepoel goes to Wheeler. And they work the blind side again with their skipper, Shane Christie. Otago defence holding up pretty well, though. And now the pass goes from Marshall. Trying to stretch the legs was Alex Ainley. Another player with vast experience. Now the kick is made, and that's rather an admission by Tasman that they'd run out of ideas. And it wasn't a very good kick either from Hayden Cripps, man who played every game for Tasman last season.
Well, encouraging levels of defence there from Otago, and they'll be pleased with that. They can make a statement in that department early on in the piece. They defended their line pretty well when under siege early on, so good sign in that area.
Sam Anderson-Heather throws and finds the target nicely there with Charlie O'Connell. And an opportunity out wide. Papali'i is good with the ball in hand, and off he goes. And he's looking to link up with his left winger there in Kieran Moffat. Not able to do so, but an early indication. Now there's some loose play by Tasman. But they look as though they've got it under control here, but they've backed onto their own goal line. And it's going to have to be cleared away by fullback Marty Banks. But Papali'i, first time he got the ball, showed just what he's made of.
Yeah, that was better, Otago. So good execution off the top of the line out and bringing the fullback in. Although he was reasonably flat-footed when he got it, he's got good acceleration. And yeah, the question being asked, Moffat being pulled back by his opposite there, and then how about that off the back of the foot?
He's a danger man, all right. Now here comes Otago again. Tanaka, and a nice little move around. TJ Ioane takes the return pass there from Moffat. Now Tanaka off to Anderson-Heather. And they're only 2 or 3 metres away here. Tururangi wants to get his hands on the ball. Now Ioane, and he's a hard man to stop. And Otago right there.
That's it!
Pressing hard. And another dive at the line. Tasman defending well, and the try is finally scored. Now let's try and sort out.
I think it's the prop.
Who it is.
Craig Miller.
Craig Miller, yeah, I think you're spot on, Smithy.
The loose head prop. Well, they didn't take long, Otago. They haven't done much attacking so far, but when they got inside that red zone, they were lethal.
Oh, they were. One of their better impact players throughout this season. TJ Ioane featuring twice in this boat, making some big yards carrying the ball. And for Hayden Parker, this is pretty much a gimme. Wouldn't have minded that being 189 points, I bet, in this boat.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes, exactly.
The Hawke's Bay boy and me.
He wouldn't have minded the
life.
conversion being a little closer.
Right.
Yes. So he converts the try scored by Craig Miller, the 22-year-old prop from Pirates. 7-0 Otago.
Yeah, he was under pressure at scrum time, Miller, but he got there. They'd had a couple of cracks at it, the low numbers, and then he bounced around a bit, Miller, till he found a little opening, and over he went.
Behind, kick up.
No great show of emotion. It's the way it used to be.
He's a prop.
Yeah. So Cripps kicks off. First blood to Otago. And the run made by Charlie O'Connell. Here's Tanaka, who should be in unison with the referee tonight, you would have thought.
No communication issues here whatsoever.
No.
Absolutely.
Parker's popped into play at halfback. The off it goes to Ioane. He in turn gives it off to Grant. Here's Willis Scott, the open side flanker. Ball stolen though by Christie. And here's an opportunity on the counter-attack for Swanepoel. Banks comes up from fullback. And they didn't let him release it. So.
Well, I'll give him the second one on the entry. So he'll have a crack at the post here. Marty Banks, but some good inroads here. Here's the turnover, 7 on 7 it was. Oh, well, it just really lost control of the ball and then came from good depth here. Did Marty Banks, and
not too sure about that. However,
well, yeah, that's why I said I'll give him the second one, because he did say, Smithy, that incorrect entry as well as not releasing.
both players were part of the tackle, weren't they? They appeared to get to their feet. I think Otago slightly stiff there, but however.
Just pulled the first one a wee bit, so let's see whether he's got the radar right this time. No doubt about that. So Tasman scored their first points, but Otago continued to lead by 7-3.
Those boys on the ITM Cup bench. It's both made by the coaches at the season launch a few weeks ago, so hopefully
it doesn't collapse.
Hopefully, well, yeah, that's right. Hopefully it doesn't collapse. Kieran Kane, there it is. I'd say Leon McDonald, if he made it, I'd be happy, but I don't know about Kieran Kane's covering his scores. I could be wrong.
Beautifully taken down by Ainley once more. Swanepoel gets it back, and Cripps stabs the kick away downfield. Now Papali'i. And this one coming down. Oh, slight hesitation by Cripps, but he got there in the finish. Now James Lowe, who has been a try scorer this season. Swanepoel, and now Marshall. Tom Marshall, and how's it looking? He's kept it in, and oh dear, he's been done there. They're going to go all the way back. Well, the old rugby ball. He looked like he'd done everything right.
Yeah, exactly. It was only a bounce away from being a hero, but have a look at this. All the way back they come.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a famous game last season. Tasman actually led by 13 points at one stage.
Let's go. Let's go.
So we're creeping up towards the halfway mark in this first spell. Always expected this to be a fairly tight game.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We've got a big back line right here, even though they've got a sizable blindside Otago to work in on the left there. Just look at the positioning of Kieran Moffat. He's the player directly behind the scrum. And also Buxton Papali'i, just a two in from the sideline. He could be a danger runner.
They're under pressure at set piece time. There's Parker just dishing out the last minute instructions. So set piece right.
Yes, no.
Tasman certainly got the shove on here, and they've walked over the top. And I think there was a hand in there from Otago in desperation to get it back.
Well, that was perfect execution, Nesbo, under the new ruling. Tasman were patient on the set, got the bind on, no hit anymore, and they just sat there. They were steady, and as soon as the ball came in, they put the shove on, and yeah, there you go. Tasman under all sorts of pressure, and so much pressure that the hand went down to try and secure possession.
So Quentin McDonald, Crusaders this season, nicely delivered away, and Swanepoel and defence in midfield as Bryce Heem came in. Now here's Wheeler. Swanepoel waiting for it to emerge. It's very slow ball. Otago right in there contesting it, and in fact earning themselves the penalty.
Hey, leave it. Hey, leave. Hey, go back.
Little push and a shove.
Orange.
Wow, it wouldn't be the same if Karma wasn't involved with it. A little bit of niggle.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Well, I'll give him the rap that he deserves, though, Smithy. Tama Tuararangi, he was the bloke that affected the turnover, and big yards here for Aidan Parker, and they're back inside enemy territory, well inside the 22 here.
Yes, that's a mighty kick.
They've gained the ascendancy there, but that's the area that Otago are battling 2-1 down possession stats. And they'll look to add to that minutes in the opposition 22 from this phase here.
Anderson Heather again finding O'Connell. Here's the run from Matt Faddis. The referee's got the arm out here. And a penalty.
One left offside. Hey, left. One stop. Sorry.
So, this is in a very easy position for Parker to add to Otago's lead.
Yes. Number 1 left offside.
So it's number 1, Tim Perry,
Shot ball.
got himself offside.
I can see.
Well, came from the line out here. So, not sure how Perry was the man that got himself offside. He came up with the rest of the defensive line, but however,
so here's Parker to add another 3, and 10 points to 3 now is the lead. And Otago will be very pleased that each time they've been down inside that 22, they've managed to come away with points.
yeah, absolutely. As I say, fairly even territorially this one, but Tasman dominating possession, and that's the key in the game of rugby, clearly. So Otago will just be looking to get their hands on the ball and hold on to it for a bit longer, because as you say, they've got down in the right part of the field, they've come away with points.
So Cripps makes his kick-off, and O'Connell has taken it nicely. Tanaka away for Ioane. Takes 2 or 3 players to put him down. That's normally the case anyway.
Outside.
And the clearing kick is taken down by Cripps.
Outside, let's stop.
Now Banks, and he's got good distance on his kick too, but Popoliki.
Inside. Good stop.
And Breen slams it away downfield. So Peter Breen in the 12, Jaden Spence. Tony Brown has made a few changes. They did play on Sunday, so it's a fairly short turnaround.
Yeah, that's right, and I guess an opportunity just to give other blokes a run and say, hey fellas, it's probably the quickest way to get over at this point and get out there and get on with the job.
Nice throw there by McDonald, finding Wheeler, and a quick into pass, and Christie, the skipper, taken down by Ioane. Swanepoel gives it off to Perry, and that's the 10-metre line looming in Otago territory. Now Swanepoel drops it nicely into a little gap here, and oh, he's missed it, and here's a real opportunity. The bounce, and the bounce is there for Kaloa Matangi. Now, did he get it down? It took an age to sit up, but he looks pretty confident.
Should go upstairs to check in case he knocked it on as he went to force.
Well, the bounce of the rugby ball again, Nisbo. Was unkind to Marshall before, but this time it might be kind to Tasman.
Try or not try.
It was a lovely little kick by Swanepoel, and Popoliki got done by the bounce. But the kick was so good he couldn't get to it on the full.
No, that's right. That's the idea. Like, he kicked it to space. It was always going to bounce, and he was going to be really just be taking it, carting it over the sideline was probably his best option if he'd got it to hand, and it just sat up on him, went over the top of his head, and the charging Koloa Matangi was right there. This is all we're looking for, that he's got secure possession of the ball in the grounding, hand in there. Ooh.
What do you think?
I say no.
I think he's lost control of the ball. It's a terrific bit of work from Popovali.
Absolutely, Smithy.
Unbelievable bit of work to recover this situation. Has he got control? Does he lose it? Does he?
No, he's
lost that, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's lost it, but he's over the line. So as long as the ball hasn't touched the ground, Smithy, before he grounds it with his torso, basically, dodgy at best.
Yes, I think he's struggling.
So we'll come back to have a look at the best angle is this one.
Well, the TMO is Chris Ratt, and he's decided he wants, this is his best angle. He has to have another look at it. Popovali's hand, there's no doubt it dislodges it. Does it to the point where he loses control there. Or is his body, does he lose it forward? Does he lose it down pod? You decide. You've never got one wrong, you said.
You're beside him. Okay, I'm going to go try.
Yes. Yep.
History.
Oh, too many words. Too many words.
History, Pod, in the making here.
Doesn't take that long to say try, does it, Smithy?
History in the making here for you, Pod. Not in a good way.
No.
All good things have got to come to an end, Smithy. So this is it. The kick was perfect. As you say, the worst case scenario was he was going to cart it into touch, so they had possession of the ball, but almost turned into the big prize for Tasman.
Well, it was brilliant from Popovali. First of all, it was him that missed the bounce. But to have the speed and the wherewithal to turn round and recover the situation, great escape.
It's not over for Otago, though, is it? Scrum under pressure.
That's right.
So look out here.
Coach. Fine. Sit. Scrum reset. Yeah. Can you watch this? Yeah, I watch.
Yeah. 13 remaining first half.
Let's go. Coach. Fine. Set. Yes, nine.
Okay, here comes the weight from Tasman. As expected, Grant's got it, but he's been held up. Now, can he get this to the ground? He's done really well, Paul Grant. That's a super effort, really. And if they can make the clearance, they'll be very relieved. And in the end, Otago have somehow got out of jail.
Done very well. Very well, superbly well. Some concerns for Christie. Look, the scrum under all sorts of pressure. Number 8's worst nightmare. So players have got the jump on him, and then he's held up high, but good strength, good determination, Paul Grant.
So Tasman continue to attack as McDonald throws. Up high was Liam Squire on that occasion. Here's the run from Bryce Heem. Lays it back for Swanepoel. Now McDonald. 7 or 8 metres away, Tasman. As Swanepoel sends it across. Little pop pass on the inside for Fonotia. Still holding it up. Now the big charge from Pulpisi. As Perry plays halfback. Gets it off to Cripps. Taken down by Squire. Otago having to make a lot of tackles in this game.
Last feed.
Real opportunity now for Tasman as Swanepoel gets it away to McDonald. Offside Otago as it's held up by Tom Marshall. So well, I think he's playing advantage. I'm sure he said offside. Just inside the 5-metre line with James Lowe. Swanee pull again. Now McDonald away for Cripps. Now Marshall got a real chance here. Perry, and the try is finally scored by Liam Squire. Well, it was been coming for a while, and it's happened.
Yeah, it has. Off the back again, as they've been all of this ITM Cup season. Solid set piece from Tasman. They stayed patient in the build-up, multiple phases, and then the opportunity came out wide. Good numbers. The overlap was always there. Low numbers, although. But Squire's a good player. G's a good player. Injury-free.
Good pass here. That pass there cut out about 3 Otago defenders. Another good transfers from Marshall. You would expect that. And that just gave a two-man overlap on the outside. The big man way too strong. So good finishing from Tasman at last. It's taken them a while to convert some territory and possession into a try. Good transfer from Hayden Cripps.
Yes, you mentioned injury-free, Pod, because he did miss the whole of last season, didn't he, Liam Squire?
He did. Good discipline too, Tim Perry. I think the temptation might have been just to give him the old... the defender had just drifted on it to his outside Nisbo, so that's slight, ever slight temptation. Although maybe props just don't think like that.
No. So Banks can even it all up here with this conversion attempt. Oh, that never looked like missing. 10-all it is then at Trafalgar Park in Nelson.
Pretty good crowd in too, Smithy, as we get another look at it from the reverse angle. There it is. Look, Perry, the temptation must have been there.
Resisted. Tip back in the Otago team and grabbed by Willis Scott, the open side flanker. And boy, there's some competition going on there. Good work by Tasman. They stayed low, they walked over it, and that's a deliberate knock on, surely. And has been picked up. Well, that was an advertisement for Lowe hard driving. Nothing's changed in 100 years.
Great commitment, but it's just again buoyed by the fact that they are so strong at scrum time. Tend to have scrum dominance, and Nisbo carries through to the phases as he slips and doesn't find touch.
So an absolute miscue there. So Breen bangs it off downfield. And Tasman have to launch from just out from their own 22 through Cripps. Oh, that's an awkward pass. And nicely snapped up in the finish by James Lowe. Some rough passing going on here, but finally now Marshall does find his man, and in the finish it was an aimless kick as Popoliti. He finds a bit of space. And Lowe. No, he's well, he thought about running outside the 22 and thought better of it. Having evaded one player, and was a good kick. Yes, well, of course, Wellington is the other one.
Actually, Nisbo, to be fair, you're going all right this year.
So far.
You're going all right.
So far.
Hey?
Yes.
I think as a Wellington supporter, you're quite right to be excited at the moment for your team.
Just holding our breath, our collective breaths. There's Tanaka. Sends it off to Ioane. And he in turn slipped it away to Scott. The open side flanker just turned 21. As Parker gets it up really high and coming down on halfway. Oh, that's a heavy landing.
Stop. Ball down, please. Down.
Now, I'm not sure you can blame Kieran Moffat for that, surely.
Well, there's certainly no intention there. He's going to the bin. That's careless. And I guess that's probably dealt with in the best possible way there. Zero intent. As Banks goes up.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Tried to bail out of it.
Yeah.
Just thought about going up, didn't. And then realised they're in a terrible position.
Yes, he really wanted to try and catch the player as well and let him down gently.
Yeah, well, that's right. You don't think like that, though, as a player.
No.
So yeah, I think 10 minutes in the bin. Not a bad result for him.
Oh, Banks is going to have a go here. This is a big kick.
Distance won't be the issue. He's got a big boot on him.
Yep.
Marty Banks. So it's just about dialing in the radar. I mean, they'll see Kieran Moffat shrugged off the jacket there. It's not that warm, is it?
Oh, it's pretty mild, actually.
All right.
If you've been moving around, Pod.
Good point.
Going on. Yeah, this is a test. This a gamble, I would have thought. 15 against 14 just before half-time. Hope that pays off for Christie's decision.
Distance good. Oh, good kick. Very good kick indeed. So they've certainly found an outstanding goal kicker, have Tasman, in the form of Marty Banks, ex-Buller. And it's 13 points to 10. Parker's kick. Ainley's been really good in that area, the ex-skipper of Tasman.
Unplayable.
And the call there, unplayable. And so the referee says, let's have a scrum, try and sort it all out.
Yeah, Tom Franklin there, just getting up with the tape around his ears. Big number 5 for Otago, did very well from the kickoff. It's Ainley going up, and watch Franklin come in and get round on the other side. So he can do that until there's a formation there. They were having a bleed, Tasman players, but very good work from Tom Franklin.
So it looks like an injury break. I think this might be the first one we've had, actually.
Long bank.
35 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe King get the ball in a bit of space. James Lowe. Running the Freddie Mercury moustache too. Look at that. How about that?
Oh, yes.
Not bad.
But if they do win the championship, you might be able to lead the song, which is...
the worst song. The worst song. Yeah,
champions.
someone's got to come. There's money to be made then. I suppose someone's got to come up with another song.
Yeah, they do. They do. It is a shocker. Stood the test of time, though.
Absolutely. It's because no one's come up with anything different.
Here he is. And, oh, that's a lovely move. And off he goes, James Lowe. And super move. And now Swanepoel with a big sprint. And passes it off. And Shane Christie scores an outstanding team try, set up by James Lowe, aka Freddie Mercury.
I want to break free. And hasn't he? Hey? Right on cue, James Lowe, spectacular. Down the short side, not a lot of room to move, plenty of players to beat, and he does the job. Shane Christie, well, if there's ever going to be a player on the shoulder supporting, it's Shane Christie. Have a look at this. One-on-one with Tanaka, steps him and goes, beats Ioane. And look at that, in the contact, the offload. Swanepoel and Christie. Brilliant try, Tasman.
Well, they got caught. They got caught. You could see Tanaka saying, help me, come across and help me. He was there by himself. He got stepped. TJ Ioane was just a little bit slow getting across, then Grant. And in the end, of course, they're a man down, not so much on this side of the field, but in terms of their numbers, Po'oligi was the last man across to try and affect the tackle. The draw and pass was too good. Excellent, excellent try, but what a great step. Great to see a winger doing that these days.
Yeah, well, he had to beat about 4 players. And the support play was outstanding. Now, Marty Banks. Finish it all off. He can indeed. So 20 points to 10.
He looked like he was enjoying it too. Look at the step. Good determination. And I tell you what, I kept an eye on him, and when he got up from the tackle, he was already celebrating. They had a little bit of work to do, but they did it well.
He committed all 3 loose forwards in that run. James Lowe is absolutely outstanding The whole loose forward trio he took out.
Parker's kick a little further this time, so it goes to Joe Wheeler.
Opposition.
And a bonus really for Otago. A very soft penalty indeed, and of course with 14 men, you'd want to take the 3 now.
And no doubt about that. The irony of it, Nisbo, is they just had too much time. So they had Ainley up there. He secured the ball. They decided to stay up there. Look, no Otago supporters, players whatsoever. And they just had so much time. Look at the 2 props on either side looking after their lock.
Well, this is absolute bonus territory for Otago. They did absolutely nothing to earn the penalty.
That's right. Well, in fact, they were late.
That's
and they've been rewarded for being late, and that annoys me.
Yes. Parker's kick is straight down the middle, so he lands his second penalty goal. 20 points to 13, closing in on half-time.
As you say, absolute bonus points for Otago. Still got Moffat in the bin.
Goes short this time, and all beautifully done by Tom Franklin for Otago. Now Tanaka slings it wide. Parker surrounded by Tasman players, and couldn't roll away. No hope really of rolling away. Sila Puafisi.
Well, keep moving. His crime was he didn't really make too much of an effort, to be fair. As I said, happy hunting ground generally for Tasman and Nelson, but not in 2010 against this team.
He's getting good distance, isn't he? Parker with his line kicking, and this has given Otago a great opportunity here. Great steal in the air. They've been so good in the air tonight, Tasman, and they've really taken everything apart from that one.
So just over a minute left, and Sam Anderson-Heather to throw, and no opposition at all from Tasman. Happy to concede on this occasion as Peter Breen takes it to the setup. Now Tanaka for Ioane, and again trying to bust his way through tackles. Tanaka away to Breen once more. Now Parker sends it back on the inside, and Jaden Spence goes down, but forward pass. So opportunity lost for Otago.
Hot pass.
So I think they'll probably have a couple of minutes in the second half with just 14 men before they get Kieran Moffat back. There was a time when that guy sitting on the bench wasn't allowed in the dressing room.
That's right.
I think those days are over.
Are they? I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so, that's right. Mates would all go marching past them, and he'd have to sit out in the elements. That's the hooter. So, given the platform they've had throughout this first 40, Nisbo, this will be in, and literally straight out for Tasman.
Set. Yes, line.
Yes, they have got a better scrum. Lowe Matangi releases up to Swanee Pool, and Banks, well, it won't matter if it goes out on the full, which it has anyway. I think they took it outside the 22. And that will be half-time here at Trafalgar Park in Nelson. It's been a lively first half. Tasman have scored 2 tries to 1. And they lead by 20 points to 13. And we're going to hear from Buxton Popali'i. and he is now joining Smithy.
Thanks, Tisbo. Yeah, well, Buxton, how have you read the first 40?
Oh, it's pretty tough. Being up on our 22, pretty much. Tasman are playing down on our end, so it's pretty hard at the moment.
The good thing is when you're getting down there, you're converting into points.
Yeah, no, we're trying to get into penalty and get Clutch to kick the ball. So yeah.
Good on you, mate. Thank you.
So there we are, half-time here at Trafalgar Park in Nelson, and Tasman hold the lead over Otago, 20-13.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.
So there's Kieran Kane, his team ahead 20-13, and they'll have 15 against 14 for at least the next 2 minutes.
Tom Donnelly on in jersey 18 for Otago for Tom Franklin.
Okay. Kick-off is made to get the second half started. Hayden Cripps, and taken down by O'Connell for Otago. Now Tanaka. Off it goes to Ioane. This time he gives it off to his skipper, Paul Grant, rather than take the contact. And again, plenty of pressure from Tasman. And they've cleared this away into the arms of Wheeler. And Otago not really protecting that loose ball as the pass goes high for Cripps. Swanee Pool as he works the blindside, a little kick. And nicely taken by the smallest man on the park.
On 5 meter.
Fumiaki Tanaka.
10.
Swanee Pool, we saw him in the first half, put a lovely little box kick in as Otago looked to clear from inside their 22, and Parker again good distance, but on that occasion, Nisbo, they might have been just better keeping ball in hand because they still got, as you say, the advantage of, well, they had it. So that was their last opportunity. I thought maybe keep the ball in hand and work. They've been patient in that first half in terms of their build-up. Good idea to do it and maybe try and work that one-man advantage to their advantage. Didn't do it, so back to full flight Otago.
Line out one there by Squire. Now Cripps powering onto it. Goes Fonatia. And not released. Otago over the ball with the rights to it. Tom Marshall was there as well.
Well, he ran a great line, Fonatia. He really did. Flat pass, and he hit it with pace and hit half gap. But to referee spot on there, he just, if you have a look, he just clearly did not let go of the ball.
Make sure. Yeah, thank
you. So there was the penalty, and now Anderson Heather throws, and that's not straight.
Not straight.
Tom Donnelly just on the field was the target. Not a bad bloke to bring on in the second half.
That's right, they'll need him.
Mark here. Good lad, Taylor. Long bind, please. Long bind.
So those are the frustrations. This bloke, drive coaches grey. Get yourself good field position. You don't execute your set piece.
Coach! Bind! Set! Yes, 9!
So Mark Swanepoel, oh, he put it under his own hooker's feet.
Hi, lead!
Tanaka was in a hurry to take it. Now he's off on a little mission of his own. Now he gets it away. And Otago have got themselves into a very good position and a penalty.
Hey, lot of weight.
So you'd imagine they'll just grab the 3 while they're here.
5.
Joe Wheeler in another little tussle.
Yeah, it's the one ruling I'm not quite convinced on yet. This boat, they're not straight. Dominant scrum, Tasman. As Tanaka gives them some good yards. From the short arm penalty comes the straight arm penalty and points.
Well, if he was unhappy with his start in the first half, Kieran Kane, he'd be equally unhappy here because they have started quite slowly again, Tasman. And they hand another 3 points, giving away 2 or 3 penalties in a very short space of time.
He's landed 2 penalties already, and there's a third. And Otago now close to within 4 points early in the second half, 20-16.
There's another bloke that'll have some impact off the bench, Liam Coltman on the end. Donnelly already out there into his work.
Cripps kicks off. Donnelly going back in search of this and brings it down nicely. Just might have lost his blocks there. Oh, well.
Come up. Done. Leave it. Yeah. Captain.
I'm not so sure that the guys holding him up were that secure. I guess the replay will tell us.
The interesting thing for me is Ainley actually never let him go. So watch him go up. Ainley goes up to compete. Oh, well, I guess he's dragged him down, I guess is the call. You're right, the support players bailed out pretty quickly on him.
Well, that's now 4 penalties in 5 minutes of rugby that Tasman have given away. A lot of possession, a lot of yardage and points.
So we're just 5.5 minutes into the second half. Anderson here, they're getting up there and disputing possession. And they've gone quickly here, Tasman.
Sorry, my horse. Roll horse.
And
Sorry.
there was a knock on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If it's Tasman ball to the line out, given where the AR is standing, it had to be knocked on by Otago, so it had to come back to the scrum. As you look there you go. 8 penalties, and as Smithy said, 5 of those in quick succession. So Tasman, absolutely nothing wrong with their set piece. He's got to tune in the discipline. And now attacking an Otago line out. They only get 3 out of every 4 right in this post, so certainly an area of weakness for them.
Coach. Bind. Set. Yes, 9.
Right, Swanepoel gets it in this time. And Otago have come round, they've trapped him. He was always going to swing to the left, but the opposition was standing there. So going in is Bryce Heem to play at halfback. Cripps gets it across into midfield where it's dragged up by Marshall. Now there's a loose pass and Heem has it once more.
Hands! Fine.
Swanepoel gets Ioane at the same time. Now Cripps. Still on their own 10-metre line as Banks comes up.
Lock!
Now McDonald, one way then the other. They're putting themselves under real pressure here. Getting caught behind the advantage line. Now here's Tom Marshall. He'll get over the advantage line. And off he goes, Tom Marshall. Christie is in support as always. And he gets his pass away. Lowe Matangi, 6 or 7 metres out. They can score some spectacular tries from distance. Can Tasman. Now can they get this to ground? Or will it be turned over? It is going to be turned over. Well, a bit of class there from Tom Marshall.
You're right, though. They were making hard work of it in the lead-up. Right from the set piece, they got the option wrong. The scrum turned and they went against the turning scrum, which immediately put themselves under pressure, and it sort of just went from bad to worse for Tasman until it got into the hands of Tom Marshall. Christie, as he does for 80 minutes, week in, week out, on the shoulder of the ball carrier, and then just here, getting held up. Turning over possession, but again, given the dominance of their scrum, they'll look to put real pressure on this Otago scrum.
So 21 for 14 for Otago, and that is a debut tonight for Teharangi Walden, and jersey 21 for Matt Faddis.
Boss red. Hey.
Now this will be interesting because Tasman have shown they have a better scrum.
Set. Yes, 9.
So Tanaka gets it in, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Ball is there for Tasman, and off it goes to Swanepoel. Here's Cripps, pops it up. No, he doesn't. Held on to it. And Otago have rights to the ball, and Kolomatangi.
No, let's go. Try.
Tonight in the first half, rewarded in the second.
Yes, indeed. And reward, they should be going up there and thanking the front row, the second row. Kolomatangi. Kolomatangi was the scorer, but all the hard work. It's been impressive all day, was done at the set piece. They were good, they were patient here, just waited and waited, and then the pressure came on, and Otago was scrambling. Look at that, ball bouncing around. And they showed good control here. And Kolomatangi off the base, fed it, and look at him, just lurks around and says, I'll have another go at this, picks up, shows good strength.
Well, I'd like another look at that, because Moffat, who has not had a happy night at all tonight, Kieran Moffat, especially lately, he felt he had rights to the ball, and he felt the player came in illegally, a Tasman player, to take him out. Came in from the side, so he argued with that, kicked the ball away, not happy at all with that decision. They won't reverse it.
No. So Kolomatangi scores the try, converted by Banks. 27-16.
Have a look at the 11 here. He stands over the ball. Now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Although, to be fair, he might not have come in through the gate either.
Cripps certainly held on a lot longer than he should have. So now Swanepoel. Here's Marshall with a raking punt. Popoliki waits back. And they're going to try and run this one out. There's the... Oh, bad collision. But it's okay. Two players have finished up in a heap. One of them was Peter Breen, but he's got up. Not sure about the Tasman guy.
Oh, Squire, he's not in good shape.
No, he's running around in circles at the moment. Playing advantage. And they get a penalty.
They got to look at him, he's out. He's out on his feet almost, Liam Squire.
Oh. Ouch. And he's got the knock on the head on the way down too. So he gets it there, does Squire, and then he gets it there when he lands.
But doctors out there, I mean, the concussion rule just has to simply come into play here. Really should have come off and have a test. I think they're doing the right thing.
Absolutely. The tap on the head, get out there, go through your tests.
So we're going to see a lot of experience and a lot of quality, and Liam Coltman coming on very shortly for Otago, for Sam Anderson, Heather. Tasman have run out a temporary replacement in the meantime while a test goes on, and that is Gary Redmond in 19.
So in the meantime, Marty Banks, with those 20 points on debut last week, another tally coming up here tonight. Distance not a problem, and accurate as well. 30-16 now, Tasman.
2 off.
Yep, to 15 now, if my calculations are correct, Nisbo. Breen.
15 points.
Sorry, 15. Yep. Have I done that right?
Yes.
I got my math wrong the other night trying to calculate kilos into stone. So.
Okay, yes. So 35 points in a bit over 1.5 games as Parker kicks off. And Lowe takes it in. Swanepoel. Marshall. Popali'i. And Otago through Breen. Off it goes to Kieran Moffat.
No, let's go.
It's there for Tanaka. As Parker works it on for Grant. Dangerously close to the touch, and in fact, up goes the flag.
Time off. 10 led.
So substitution here, 22, and that's a very familiar figure of Robbie Melnick, and 22, and that is for Hayden Cripps. So we'll just have a look at the reshuffle in the back line. It may mean Tom Marshall comes in one. It may mean Banks goes.
I think Banks will head straight into the pivot role.
Yeah, he has by the look of it.
So delay. So it's a free kick goes to Otago. And off goes Ioane, throwing himself at the opposition. Tanaka works it off to Donnelly. Tanaka now for Parker. O'Connell. As Otago try and manoeuvre Tasman around the park. Grant, the captain. Tanaka again. Ioane flicks it back on the inside. Good pass to Breen.
Last feet.
Ball is there for Tanaka again. It's very slow. Now he gets it away for Parker. Here's Coltman. Tanaka and now Parker up to Breen, who threatens to go through. Tanaka once more. Coltman really testing this Tasman defence. Ball is up and loose. Now Tanaka has it again. Ioane slips the first. Got past Melnick. And finally Tasman rewarded for some very good defence.
Yes, indeed. Keen to go quickly to Tasman.
So running it out here and straight through. This is a great run here from Melnick. Fires it back inside. And what a try that is. Brilliant try by James Lowe. And boy, can they score from distance.
Well, celebrations. Tasman, and why not? Crowd on their feet too. And from being under pressure in a defensive situation, immediately the turnover, Ioane takes it into contact and was making good ground here. But there, the key was the second arriving player, and I think it's Perry. There, look at him, gets up, and then they move the ball wide. Puafisi's involved, and then Melnick, he's only just come on, so the hamstrings have been stretched nicely. And Parker couldn't get him. Then good support, and that's been the impressive thing in the build-up to these long-range tries. They've always had players in support of Tasman.
Well, look, he picked on two front rowers there. He got outside Coltman and inside Tururangi, and then too much gas, too much experience for Robbie Melnick. Kept the ball alive. I thought for a second there that Otago might have had that in-pass covered, but no. Great speed, great length of the field try, great turnover from Tim Perry to start it as well. So for Otago, now that they're down 37-16, they've made a couple of changes. 19 for them is on. That's Lee Allen, the PJ Ioane. This way the concussed player is back, Liam Squire. And at the back too, I think Tavita Thavambati is on in jersey 18.
Okay, well, the ball's been knocked on by Tasman.
Yeah.
And I think by the new man.
Yeah, exactly. Tavambari, first thing he does, just a little bit of a miscommunication. Wheeler gets up and gives him a tap, says sorry about that.
You guys, okay. After follow my call.
A happy shark. Is that a happy shark, Nisbo? Never been that close to know
They've been
whether.
stuck around to find out.
Let's go. Let's go.
I was just thinking that James Lowe reminds me a bit of James Kerr. Remember James
Yes,
Kerr?
I do remember James Kerr. Yeah, absolutely. What the way he runs, or just how many tries he scores?
Well, both, really.
James Kerr scored a lot of tries.
He did.
Yeah.
Swanepoel's got himself in the... play on. Gee whiz. That's tough on Otago. That really is tough. Swanepoel was clearly offside. But anyway, let's move on as the pass is made by Marshall. And now it's being stolen. And here comes the counter-attack. And an opportunity here for Moffat. Got the pass nicely in field to Spence. And Otago with an opportunity as Tanaka works it across into centre field, and charging up with it was Lee Allen. Now here is Scott. He gets it away, and here's an opportunity for Otago on loose pass by Spence. It only really had to go to hand, and Otago had a try. Now Swanepoel digs in, and the ball is cleared into touch.
Gee, Pod, how about the skill from Tom Donnelly?
Time off.
Not bad. Not bad. Deserved a reward, didn't it, really?
Let's three off. 3 off.
There he is, jersey 18. The pickup and the offload. The pickup was almost as impressive, Smithy.
2 changes for Tasman, 16 for 2, 17 for 3. So that's Francis Smith on in 16. And Suya Halo Nuka on in jersey number 17.
Tell you what, they've had a good day. The Tasman front rankers deserve a bit of a spell.
So Coltman throws. Donnelly gives it one hand to Tanaka. Tanaka gets it back and sees a little gap and takes it into about 7 or 8 metres. Snapped away by O'Connell. And Otago desperate to get the next points in this game as Tuirangi hangs on. Ball on the ground for Tanaka. Off to Parker. Change of direction by Hayden Parker. Tanaka goes again. Here's Grant, the skipper. Tasman driving hard over the ball and winning it too. Once again, they have been superior at the breakdown. Oh, Liam Coltman's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. That was a dangerous tackle.
Oh, and straight in the pocket. What colour?
Oh, dear.
You're lift up. Okay.
Oh, you got it.
It didn't look good, I've got to say.
That's right. Got a brief explanation. Might not have been a bad thing. Here's Grind into the contact, and again, Tasman they have done on numerous occasions, just committing players to the breakdown. The turnover comes, and as they bring it out.
Time off, please. Time off.
Here it is,
Time
up
off.
and...
Blue. Wait, hold in.
2 changes you can see running on there to the right for Otago. So in jersey 22, Si'u Fuatai is on, and so too is Josh Renton in jersey 20. Buxton, Papuali'i and Tanaka, the halfback.
Okay, so it looks as though most of the benches have been cleaned out as Banks works it across to Marshall. Now here's an opportunity again for James Lowe. This time he is contained. 20 minutes remaining in this game, and Tasman comfortably ahead. They have their bonus point. They have the 4 tries. As Tasman just keep coming, they look very good with the ball in hand. As Swanepoel moves it back to Heem. A couple of big, tall, quick wingers. Now carried on by Tasman. And a big gap opens up. And Fonotia still holding. Only 10 metres away. Now Swanee Pool. And they're lining up here. Wheeler gets it off to Hello Nuka. And another real opportunity as Melnick swings it wide. Banks lays it back. Swanee Pool now for Tom Marshall. Good tackle, looking for someone. Finds Fonatia, and finally it's James Lowe, and he picks up another one. And Tasman now starting to run riot.
Well, they certainly are. Hands on heads for Otago. Celebrations, second one tonight for James Lowe, but they've all been so impressive. Plenty of words to be said in that Otago huddle. And here's the tail end of it. Just some good lines being run there. Melnick's been impressive since he's come on. Fonatia created the opportunity, and then they always had the benefit of an advantage here, and then he threw the dummy. Marshall, and look at Fonatia, just looks up, draws two defenders, creates a massive hole for James Lowe, and he won't score many easier than that, Smithy.
No, he won't, and they're going to pay the price for playing an hour of this game with just 14 men. Two sin binnings are going to cost them dearly, because each time they've conceded points because they've been men down in defence. And this is a good side, Tasman. They're going to cause a lot of sides a lot of grief in this competition. Very few weaknesses. Their set piece has been outstanding tonight, and now their finishing is starting to come to the fore. They are quality.
Well, he's got 17 points tonight. Chance to go here to 19. And this time the conversion is wide, so that's a rare miss. But there's James Lowe, just 21 years of age. 2 tries. And he set one up in the first half. Super try.
That's right.
Scored by Christie.
It's been outstanding. James Lowe.
So Parker gets us going again. And immediately grabbed by Halanuku. Otago fancy the chances of getting this back, and they will.
That's exactly what I was talking about, Lee.
Okay. Well, they're going to have to run a hooker on here, of course. So the man who was off, Sam Anderson Heather, has to go on so they can form a scrum, proper scrum, with Coltman being in the bin. So they'll lose a player. And it looks like it'll be the open side, Willis Scott.
Time back on. Mark here.
So it doesn't get any easier for them, does it? This boat already under pressure when they had a full complement at scrum time. So they're going to go into this one. One man down.
Let's go.
Coach!
Well, Bruce Hunter.
Fight!
Remember him, Pod?
Set!
I remember of him. Of him, Nisbo.
Sorry.
Okay.
800-metre runner too, Nisbo. Was he an 800-metre runner?
Yeah, he's a very good athlete. Yes, outstanding athlete.
Commonwealth Games, did he?
I think so, yeah. Wait for your phone to start buzzing, Smithy.
5 tries as an 18-year-old. That's pretty impressive.
Long bite, please.
So Josh Renton is going to feed the scrum eventually.
Coach!
It's very hard to imagine Otago being able to hook this.
No, I'm not quite sure.
Head to head, right? Boss, position left side. More left side. Come up, yeah.
And they're going to be under immense pressure. Not sure why they don't just go stick an extra player on the side just to help out. No good, those boys standing there waiting for the ball if it never comes.
No.
Okay, let's go.
Coach!
Here we go, see what?
Bind! Set!
Stay up there!
Well, that's a pretty good result for Otago. They've got a penalty. And so they can attack through their back division. And out it goes to Moffat. Now, Renton, of course, is at halfback. O'Connell, he's worked hard all night. Oop. Paul Grant threw it. It came off a head, I think. And the little kick through from Parker. It's nicely weighted too. Melnick has to get back. But it was offside play by Tasman.
Yeah. Alan Nisbo was the man. Just got up from the breakdown and found there he is. Look at him making his way up there, going up. Almost a double falcon. How about that for a protestation of innocence?
Yes.
Not me, sir. What did I do wrong?
Well, we're long past the point where Otago are kicking penalty goals, so Hayden Parker goes for the sideline.
Yep. Hang off.
There's a change here. They haven't emptied the benches. Mitchell Scott, jersey 21 for Kieran Fonatia. He's a useful player, this fella. He's a big man. And a very good combination tonight with Tom Marshall. They've looked slick.
Sorry.
Also 19 for 6, so re-entry of the concussion scenario. Gary Redmond.
Okay. Well, Tasman are well and truly going to break their duck tonight against Otago, that is for sure.
They've got to have a player and get out of there. Got to go, son. It's 16 on.
So here's a chance for Otago. Got their centre three-quarter in there. Jaden Spence helping out. This ball is still there somewhere. Referee's got his arm out here, so Otago are going to get a penalty at the very least as Tui Rarangi goes to within a couple of metres. So Uli in the 17 jersey. Now O'Connell. And another penalty. So there's no point putting a scrum down. That won't work.
He'll come all the way to the mark, though, where the infringement took place. So maybe dig the corner again. That'll be the discussion. What do we do? Punt it into the corner and back our line out, which isn't 100%. That's the better option than setting the scrum for Otago.
I called you off. Okay, you quick off.
Here we go. Nisbo, a bit of innovation here for Otago. Got a few more stacked in the line out.
Haven't they? So Donnelly's there. We've got all the backs in there giving some help.
Pushing with their chest. That's no good, Nisbo.
They're not low. They're going backwards at the moment.
That's a work on. That needs to go in the coach's book. The backs are going to get in there, Nisbo. They've got to be effective. Now they're getting some better body position, but Tasman has done very well holding them up. You're going to have the best idea in the world, Nisbo, but it ain't no good if you don't execute.
There's no place for backs, Pod, you know that.
And they've just found that out.
Mind you, how often do you see the boys with the low numbers in the back line these days?
Well, at least they're effective when they're in there, Smithy.
So just over 10 minutes remaining here. It's been all Tasman in the second half. Otago have just managed one penalty goal, whereas Tasman have added 3 tries to the 2 they scored in the first half. Liam Coltman's got a minute remaining in the bin.
Fine. Set. Yes, nine.
Now Mark Swanepoel. Been lively at halfback, the former Australian under-20 halfback. Here's a clean break again from Marshall. Now, can he find some support? And he does the right thing by putting the kick in, and the chasers are coming at 100 miles an hour, and it sits up brilliantly. And Mitchell Scott has scored the try. Another spectacular effort.
I'll tell you what, try of the year. They've scored some spectacular ones. Hey, take your pick. Take your pick. Tasman Again, deep within their own territory. Marshall takes it to the line, throws a dummy. The defence held off him, no one committed, and then here's a great read. Knew he had pacemen on the outside. Melnick was the first one, and then the replacement player, Mitchell Scott, got there.
Class. Class here.
Absolutely, Smithy, isn't it?
Absolute class in the reading of a situation. In fact, sizing up man on man, knowing he had the pace, knowing he had the advantage. A little bit of extra luck with the bounce, which eluded both 22s. But there he was. He's a quality finisher. First touch is a good one.
But just impressed me tonight with their commitment to everything they've done. As well, we've seen them score some spectacular tries, but they've always had great numbers. They've come from depth, and they've always had good numbers in support. And then at the breakdowns, even when they're just, they haven't got possession of the ball, they've thrown numbers into the breakdown, and 3 or 4 times they've turned over possession of the ball at the breakdown. So they have been an impressive, very impressive side tonight, have Tasman.
So here is Banks, and they get to within 1 point of the 50, 49-16, and it looks like that might be it for Marty Banks tonight. But here's the class of Tom Marshall, and we're looking at tries of the season. It might be a little bit early to be doing that, but there's been some spectacular ones tonight.
That's right. I'd be surprised if at least one of them doesn't make the playoffs for try of the year. Spectacular stuff.
Otago with the ball here through Donnelly. Now Renton reaching in. Ball laid back. Tasman have been very good on defence as well. Here's Donnelly having another crack. Renton goes blindside, but he got too close to the touchline. Tasman,
line out. 5.
They'll be looking to bang up 50.
Player on for Tasman for Marty Banks is Billy Guyton in jersey 20.
Big up, Chris.
So Francis Smith is the hooker, and he finds Wheeler. He's having an enjoyable night in his 50th game for Tasman. Here's Marshall. Oh, and away he goes again. There's some real quality here from Tom Marshall, just cutting a swathe through this Otago side. They've got it back though, and Renton. Anderson Heather gets it across to Parker and Hayden Parker, and Otago trying to get something going wide, but that's gone forward.
Well, Tom Marshall, by comparison to his second half effort, was relatively quiet in the first half, but look at him just looking around, taking his time, just trying to assess his options, waiting for support to get there. For maybe the first time, he was lacking support. And Otago, well, they're desperate. They're just trying to salvage anything out of this. They're just pushing passes and making mistakes.
Chiefs have bought themselves a good one here.
Oh, haven't they? They tend to do that. They tend to do that, the Chiefs.
Yes.
But certainly he will fit into that organisation very well.
Coach!
In damn near any position in the back line.
That's it. Well, that's the great thing he brings to the table, is absolute versatility.
Yes, sir.
So just over 5 minutes. Otago will be pleased to hear the final whistle, I think, as Mitchell Scott makes a run in the 21 jersey. Swanee Poole gets it away, and Thavam Bhati makes a good run, and offside play against Tasman. Well, there was always discussion this week, Richard, about how Otago would react, if you like, to losing the Shield.
Yep. Not very well, is the answer. I guess it was, you know, we're going to go one way or the other. There was going to be no middle ground. So unfortunately for Otago fans, it hasn't gone the positive way for them.
Of course, there's no guarantees that even if they still held the shield, that they wouldn't have got a hiding here.
That's right.
Tasman have played really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, they certainly have been.
Coltman throws and still trying to salvage something out of this Otago. It's difficult for them, though, as Lee Allen takes it in. Taken up by Grant and not releasing Tasman. So here's Renton running around in circles. Gave it off to Anderson Heather. Renton once more. Parker. And good defence on Fuatai. And this time it's Otago penalised for not releasing.
Oh, the disappointing thing for Otago, I suppose they started off bowling 2 premiership sides. And last week, forget the Shield, they lost their first game to a championship side, they dropped another one. So after getting off to the flyer, the wheels have fallen off somewhat.
Yes, these two teams came into the second equal in the championship behind Hawke's Bay. So Tasman will take over as the leaders in the championship. Hawke's Bay, of course, have that game in hand tomorrow, the Shield game. Game we're all looking forward to.
Absolutely.
I know Smithy's excited already.
Well, I don't think there's anyone in Hawke's Bay that ain't.
So 3 minutes left. And Tasman still running strongly. And he just couldn't get the pass up there. Mitchell Scott, he's looked very good since he's come on.
Yeah, good player. Not a bad bloke to have off the bench, Mitchell Scott. He's got some game.
Quite incredible, you know, what that logger wood can ignite in a province. And you hear so many stories about it, but honestly, I've seen it. I have seen that piece of wood go around a few hotels and a few streets and what have you, and everyone has just been drawn to it like a magnet. Fantastic.
Still the most prized possession in New Zealand sport, isn't it? Forget about rugby.
Coach!
In terms of the fans, yeah, absolutely, I think so.
It's the
hard to argue with that.
best known sporting trophy in the country.
Yes, no? Hold it.
As Otago, well, it's broken down again. Little birdie just said to me, until we get the America's Cup. I'm not even sure that's got the tradition of the Ranfurly Shield in this country.
No, well, yeah, different. It's different, entirely different. Been around for a bit longer.
Yes, it has.
No, we haven't been competing for it for that long, though. That's the difference. So.
That's right.
Let's go.
So a big night here for Tasman.
Coach!
They've well and truly broken their duck against Otago, and they've been extremely convincing in the process.
Do you blokes play in Nisbo, Wellington?
Who's this, Tasman?
Yeah.
I hope not.
That's right. They'll be coming for you, though.
Yeah. Okay, here's Otago with a couple of minutes left in the game. And out it comes as far as Peter Breen.
Last hit.
Now Renton off into centre field. Donnelly, and Tasman's defence is just as enthusiastic. Ball's been dropped, and here's another chance. Marshall leading the charge, but scooped up by Spence. And they'll go back for the knock-on. No advantage.
Well, Coach Kieran Kane might not have been happy about how they started in the first and the second halves, but he'll have to be happy with the way they're finishing here. Just, again, the commitment and determination continues into the 78th minute of this game. They're up 30-plus points. So a lot to be admired in this side. So our colleagues from Radio Next Door getting only 15 seconds of fame.
Coach!
Yes, exactly.
Fight! Set! Yes,
So So Swaddy Pool, that's a good trump from Otago this time. Put a bit of pressure on, and Shane Christie snaps it up for Tasman. And now Swanee Pool. And here they go once more. And this time it's a fairly loose pass, but Mitchell Scott grabs it and again proving elusive. Now it's there for Swanee Pool. Marshall works it across. And just getting a little untidy towards the end of this game. Kicked ahead by him.
Oh, is that pot about props in the back line?
Yeah, withdrawn. Comment, statement, withdrawn, Smithy.
29-3 to Tasman in the second half. No argument with that.
No, it's been comprehensive. They scored 4 second-half tries. Anderson Heather throws. Donnelly hooks it back in the general direction of his halfback, but it doesn't work. And Francis Smith sets another one up for Tasman. Can they crack that 50 in the last minute? As Tim Perry ploughs ahead. Now here's Ainley. He just couldn't quite link up. And a knock on there as well.
One loss.
Yeah, so as most game or a lot of games I want to do, the structure falls down with the benches being emptied.
1 minute to go.
But I can't take away from Tasman. It's been an outstanding effort.
1 minute to go.
And a celebration night too for Joe Wheeler. 50 matches for Tasman.
He's been good too in his 50th, as he has been for the majority of those matches. Such a big influence, and again shown his versatility. Started it in the second row, moved to the side of the scrum. He's athletic, he's fit.
Bind. Set. Hold. Yes, 9.
So Renton's got to get this into the scrum.
Hold it. Hold.
It actually looks a better scrum now than it did earlier, as Grant slings it away. And Fuatai. Here's Grant with the ball again, as the siren has indicated full time. So it's a penalty to Otago. They'll try and run it another 55 metres to the line, as Anderson Heather holds it up. It's there now for Renton. And here is Peter Breen. And the penalty, well, that will be the end of it, I think. Tasman
19 long.
have done their dash tonight. They well and truly won the match.
Entry 19.
Is he? Tim Perry's got the ball, Smithy. No.
Thought he was going to kick it out.
Yeah, I thought he was going to finish the game for us. They stayed disciplined to the end. Dude, Tasman.
So Tom Marshall kicks it into touch, and that is a comprehensive win by Tasman. They had a half-time lead of just 7 points, but they have run away with this game in Joe Wheeler's 50th, and they've won it by 49 points to 16.
Well, you can see how happy they are. The congratulations straight to Joe Wheeler, and boy, oh boy, they've celebrated in style. Spectacular 80 minutes of rugby from Tasman. The most spectacular thing is they look good in both aspects of the game. Attack, just superb, scored some outstanding tries, spectacular tries, and then defensively, just their commitment to their defensive system, commitment to the breakdown. And they will certainly, for the teams that have yet to play Tasman, they will be very impressed about how these guys go around their work.
They were really competitive in the Canterbury game, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, absolutely. And, you know, they've continued their dominance at line-out, yet to lose a line-out on their own throw in this competition game 4. That's spectacular in itself, just right across the board. Good balance, good depth off the bench as well for Tasman, and Otago, well, after the flyer, bowling 2 premiership sides in this competition, have now lost 2 in a row to championship sides, so work to be done for the Otago boys.
Well, they scored the first try of the night, Otago, but after that, it was all Tasman. Shane Christie, the captain, is with Ian Smith.
Yeah, Nisbone, a pretty happy captain too, particularly that second half performance.
Yeah, mate, we'll be thrilled with that performance. I think we executed what we wanted to, and we come away with the points, and we should have got the win, so we'll be happy.
Piece has been outstanding, but it was again tonight. The line-out was very clinical and dominance at scrum time.
Yeah, at times I thought we dropped off a little bit, but yeah, we're getting there. Starting to develop a bit more cohesiveness, and we're getting better and better.
Quality finishing is demonstrated in the second half.
Yeah, mate, we've got an awesome back three, and our reserves, as you can see, we've got a lot of deadly power on the bench that come off and bring a lot of input, bring a lot of impact. So we'll be really happy with the way the boys performed tonight.
Well, that gets you right towards the top of the table now, so you're in a good spot to launch now.
Yeah, mate, we're excited for the rest of the season. We haven't done anything yet, won a few games, but we've got a goal in mind that we want to nail, so looking forward to that.
We're looking good, thank you, cheers.
Mate, thank you.
Come on, Paul, well, tough week for you guys, and we wondered how you'd be able to pick yourself up off the canvas. First half, okay?
Yeah, not too bad in the first half. We didn't have a lot of ball to play with. We struggled to put phases together, but 1-1 to the Tasman team who played for the 80 minutes.
They're pretty clinical around set-piece time. We just talked about that with Shane. Their line-out is very strong. They got a bit on you in the scrum.
Yeah, we're under pressure there. Something we've been working on, but wasn't quite good enough today against a strong Tasman forward pack, but we missed too many tackles as well.
Yeah, that didn't help. I mean, I think you played 60 minutes of the game with 14 men, so that's pretty tough.
Yeah, but a discipline there as well, which isn't good enough from our team. We've just got to back our defence a wee bit more, and there's a bit of one in the air, I think, but we'll look forward to next week and put some behind us.
Right, I know it's been a tough week. We'll let you go. Cheers.
Yes, the thoughts of the two captains there, Shane Christie and Paul Grant, but it was Shane Christie's team that was dominant tonight here at Trafalgar Park in Nelson. 49-16, Tasman the winners.